Hello everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. Time for another video this week. Brand new stamp and die set this week, and it's called Eden's Garden. Hasn't been released yet to clients, but it's a lovely stamp set, has lots of nice, it's a leafy stamp set, you know, sets of leaves and some very nice sentiments on there. We're going to do a flip-flop card this week, and you open it and close it, open it, close it. Very simple to make, quite simple to make. Requires a little bit of using of your cutter for scoring and cutting, but it's very nice. And as I say, the stamp set we're going to use is Eden's Garden. Has some beautiful dies with it too, lovely leafy dies. And we are going to use this small die in the center here, the leaves. The paper is gorgeous too. The paper is absolutely beautiful. It's all soft succulent and evening evergreen with hints of gold in there. Really beautiful papers. So let me just put that to one side, and I'll turn the camera down and we'll get started. As I say, the colors are evening evergreen and soft succulent in this whole collection. And whisper white, of course, with hints of gold all over the place. I did punch out some leaves with gold, and I did also use some these little gems I found. They're not part of the set, but they're called Gold Glimmer Enamel Dots, and they just finished that side of the card nicely. The hello there and the dear friend how are you are part of the stamp set. So let me just put this all to one side and we'll get started. And I'll tell you what we need as we're going through. We need a 6 and a quarter by 5 and a half, 6 and a quarter by 5 and a half piece of cardstock. And we're going to score that just 1 inch down. We're going to go in 2 5/8. Let me see, pull the cutter this way. 2 5/8. Where am I? 2 4, 2 5/8. Cutting blade out of the way. See where my 1 is on my cutter. Hold my finger there so I've got just a guideline for where I want to score to. And this can be adjusted. And don't worry if you make your score line too long. You can always press it out with your fingernail. So then we're going to move this over to 3 5/8. Do the same again. Put my finger on the 1. Score. So what we end up with is like a channel here. We've got, you can see it if I hold, can you see it which way? That way, I think. You can see a score line there and a score line there. We're going to turn it upside down and do exactly the same. 2 5/8. For an inch. 3 5/8 for an inch. Alright, so there we have that. We're going to now turn the card on its side this way, and from here we're going to line it up at the 1 inch again, and we're going to cut from 1 inch on the cutter down to the score line. So you can see where your score line is, so you need to, oops, get my blade at the top. Make sure this is lined up on the 1 inch. You can do it two ways. You can cut from the score line up to the 1 inch mark, or you can cut from the 1 inch down to the score line. Doesn't matter. For me, I like to go from the score line, from the 1 inch mark down to the score line, because I'm always coming towards the score line and I can see the score line and it matches up with the groove on my cutting blade. And then we're going to leave it on the 1. And this way, because this is 6 1/4, is it 6 1/4? Oops, push that back up, 6. Yep, 6 1/4. So we're going to line this up on the 1 inch again, make sure it's on the 1 inch, and we're going to go from 5 1/4 up to the score line again. I'm going to turn it around. See what we have? We have a score line. Now this one I didn't cut far enough, so I'm just going to finish that off with my scissors. I'm not going to worry about it. Same thing over here, turned it around. We're going from 1 inch, whoops, one inch down to the score line. Pick it up, stop at my next score line. That's another way to do it. And come down to 5 1/4. Let me see. Oh, what we need to do next is line this up, and on the 1 inch mark, you can line it up on the 1 inch mark. You're going to cut from score line to score line. Sorry, from cut to cut. Just like that. Turn it around, line it up on the 1 inch mark over here again. Yep, there you have, there we are. And that should just pop out like that. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this piece, and you see how we've got extra on the score lines here. I'm going to turn it over and just press those out with my fingertip, my fingernail. There. And you don't even see them. All right. So then what I'm going to do is turn this over and fold this piece this way, and this piece this way. There. So it's going to fold. So you got your valley fold, and you got your mountain fold here, and your valley fold here. And your card moves freely. That's nice. Now I just have to get this the right way, so I'm going to use my other card for reference. Okay, so this is actually the inside of the card. So we have 2 pieces of Whisper White, and they are 4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. One is for the inside, one is for the front. Okay. So the one for the inside we're going to stamp with, I think I'm going to stamp in Evening Evergreen. Let me just pop that out of the way. So, am I lined up straight here? Yes. Sending hugs, that's nice. And the piece for the front, what we're going to do with the front piece is, we also have a piece of DSP, and this is going to be, it needs trimmed, but it's going to be 3 3/4 by 3. Just see what we've got here. Yeah, we need a 1/4 inch off there. And on this one, I don't think there's any side better than another. This is where we're going to stamp the Dear Friend, How Are You? And again in Evening Evergreen. And I'm going to stamp it on an angle. Just leave those over there, we'll close that so it's not in the way. Okay, so what we have, I'll make up the card now. So we've got the sending hugs, which is the inside. That fold goes that way and turns that way, so this is the inside of the card. Sending hugs is going in there. There's my little mat, which is supposed to make this work better. Sending hugs. And you should have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Sending hugs. Okay, now we're going to turn this over and we're going to put the other piece of whisper white here and the dear friend here. Again, 1/8 of an inch. Way around. So this is the outside. That's right. So we're just going to flip it like this, making sure, because we want to keep the print the right way on this piece. And we're just going to stamp, punch this down. An inch. So there's my front, there's my back. So now we need to decorate this a little bit, just spice it up. Now I already, previous to this, because this takes a while, I took this tiny little die, this one here, and I punched out leaves, and these are just the same leaves that I punched out of gold and put on this card here. Okay. I don't know if I want them in gold again or whether I want them in green. So let's have a look. To me the gold is going to get lost a little bit on this, I think. So no, let's go with gold. We like the gold. Okay. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little silicone mat. I'm going to use some liquid glue on, of course. Just pop these around the corners. And the reason I'm doing it on this brown mat is because nothing will stick to this brown mat. And the only thing you need to be careful of when you're putting these on is that you don't get it so that it impedes the movement, so that you don't stick them down so close you impede the movement of the center piece. There. Just fold that over, turn that over and press those down really well. And really, there's your card. Opens, closes, opens, closes. I think I will use some of these gold gems, gold faceted gems down the side again. How big do we want them? I think just about, these actually are 1, 2, 3, 4 different sizes in these gems, and I think there must have been 100 on there at least. So that was a good buy. Let me see. Yeah, I think I'll go with this size. So I'm putting this one in the middle, and then I'll line the other two up, one above and one below. The way, so there you are, another quick card. There. the soft succulent and the evening evergreen. So there you are, two beautiful cards called flip flop cards. So as always, remember to give credit where you saw the technique, and if you're going to sell the cards, please use the Stampin' Up Angel stamp, which just says all the supplies that were used to make the cards were Stampin' Up supplies. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.